Yeah. So, nah, this is tough.
Have to keep me out of Indy. How many times can I drive to Indy in one season is my question. Sydney Colson to the Fever. Love DeWanna Butter. Love Kelsey Mitchell, but Sydney Colson, the face of the league, to the Indiana Fever. Indy better roll out the red carpet. I swear. I have to get a Colson jersey now.
Aja Wilson has now seen both Kelsey Plum and Sydney Colson depart in free agency, signaling a major shift. Meanwhile, the Indiana Fever have just pulled off a blockbuster move that's sending shockwaves throughout the WNBA. This offseason is quickly shaping up to be one of the most stunning in league history, and the Fever are making sure the spotlight stays firmly on them.
This has actually been the shock of free agency. Like, I'm being dead serious here. This is the shock of free agency. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. The shock of free agency is the fact that the Fever signed their backup point guard, and it might be one of the best vets in the entire WNBA.
In a move that feels straight out of a sports thriller, the Indiana Fever have pulled off the unthinkable, signing Sydney Colson, a key figure in the Las Vegas Aces back-to-back championship, runs alongside Aja Wilson. This isn't just a roster shift, it's a seismic jolt to the league. Picture the shockwaves as Aja watches a trusted teammate jump ship and land in enemy territory. It's the kind of twist that blurs the line between WNBA reality and a blockbuster script, with more turns than a pretzel factory.
Boy, was I in shock when I just read that ESPN has reported that Sydney Colson is signing with the Indiana Fever. I am so curious about what Aja Wilson has to say. I can only imagine that it is, very professional. That was not on my bingo card.
Let's get into the nitty-gritty. Imagine this. The Indiana Fever, now powered by the electrifying Caitlin Clark, have been turning heads all off-season with fearless, calculated moves. And now, they've pulled off a stunner by prying Sydney Colson away from the once-dominant Las Vegas Aces, a squad that felt untouchable with Aja Wilson leading the charge. This move doesn't just make noise, it screams. For anyone who once labeled Indiana's culture as toxic, the message is clear. That narrative is dead and gone. The Fever are on a whole new wavelength now. Bold, magnetic, and 100 miles away from where they used to be.
What's up, Vegas? We got the dub. Heading back. See y'all on Tuesday.
Instead, the Fever are fast becoming the destination for players chasing not just wins, but a culture built on mentorship, grit, and unshakable team chemistry. Enter Sydney Colson, a battle-tested champion with deep playoff scars and the wisdom to match. She's more than a winner. She's a leader. And with her now in Caitlin Clark's corner, don't be surprised if the MVP race takes a dramatic turn, with Caitlin snatching that trophy right out of Aja's hands. It feels like the basketball gods just flipped the script, and suddenly, it's the Indiana Fever who are holding all the aces.
So when we're telling them numbers, impact, metrics, motion is the word.
Say the word again, Ben, because some people might not have heard you.
Motion, impact, height.
There it is. Motion is the word.
Picture Aja Wilson in a quiet Las Vegas locker room as the aces unravel like a sweater with a loose stitch. First, Kelsey Plum walks. Now, Sydney Colson's heading to Indiana. The once dominant aces are facing the reality of a season spent fighting just to stay in the mix. Meanwhile, in Indiana, the vibe is completely different. The Fever camp is alive, buzzing with energy, hope, and the kind of momentum that turns heads. A new era is clearly underway.
They're really not happy about this one. They are really not happy. Everyone is having to realize, everyone's having to go back on what they've said. You've now got Sydney Colson signing for the Fever, and this one they're
The signing of Sydney Colson isn't just a roster move. It's a statement. The Fever are done playing by the old rules. With Sydney's championship pedigree and Caitlin Clark's generational talent, Indiana is building a duo that could redefine what MVP caliber truly looks like. But don't expect Sydney to chase stats or minutes. She's here to lead, to elevate, and to spark something bigger than herself.
And the first thing I see was someone sending me a notification, tagging me in a post. And I saw the post and I was like, no way, this isn't true. No way is this true. But I looked further into it and it was confirmed by ESPN, so I guess it's true. Guys, Sydney Colson, the face of the WNBA, is taking her talents on over to the Indiana Fever, guys. OMG. OMG, OMG. I am like so...
Sydney's move from Aja's squad to Indiana isn't just a career shift. It's a calculated masterstroke meant to fast-track Caitlin Clark's evolution on and off the court. Picture those high-pressure moments when every dribble matters and every shot could shift the game. Caitlin leans on Sydney's hard-earned wisdom, and soon, that connection might ignite an MVP race that leaves Aja chasing last year's glory. It's a storyline soaked in irony and bursting with potential, one bold enough to flip the entire league upside down. And it doesn't stop there. The Fever's gutsy plight is already triggering a ripple effect across free agency. Just months ago, whispers of a toxic Indiana locker room filled the air. Now, those critics are eating their words. Players from every corner of the league are lining up, not just to chase rings, but to be part of something revolutionary. The Fever aren't just building a contender. They're redefining what a championship culture looks like.
All right, the jig is up, Kathy. And you guys can call me a hater from what I'm about to say. I don't care. I'm a big dog. I can stand on it. Kathy made the call. Kathy made the call because you mean to tell me that two-time WNBA champion, the face of the God Dog League, okay? The Aces' main girl, right-hand man, Sydney Colson, is no longer returning to the Aces and is signing with the Indiana Fever? First of all, do the Fever even have any more roster spots open? How many folks are you guys gonna...
With Caitlin Clark's magnetic pull drawing talent like moths to a flame, the Indiana Fever are quietly building one of the most dynamic, deep rosters in the league. Even former coach Stephanie White has taken to social media, calling Caitlin a generational force. Proof that this is no passing hype, but a full-blown movement gaining real momentum. The vibe in Indiana? Absolutely electric. The air is thick with anticipation of nail-biters, buzzer beaters, and a brand of on-court chemistry that doesn't just win games. It makes history.
Pretty cool symmetry. You wore number 22 for the Indiana Fever. I mean, maybe it's too soon to say, but you could potentially be coaching the last player to ever wear 22 for the Indiana Fever. That's pretty cool.
It's very cool. I saw when they posted that today. I thought it was unique, certainly. She's a lot better, number 22. She puts the ball in the hole a lot more. But I just can't wait. You know, she's a student of the game. Yeah. She loves the game of basketball. She has been so great in how she's handled, you know, all of the attention. She just wants to play. She just wants to win. And I'm looking forward to coaching players like that and this young franchise, this young team.
In Las Vegas, the fallout is real. Aja Wilson, once the face of a dominant dynasty, is now watching the Aces unravel. First Kelsey Plum, now Sydney Colson. What was a championship machine suddenly looks vulnerable, staring down a tough road just to stay playoff relevant. Behind the scenes, there's tension. Strategy sessions drag late into the night, and locker room banter mixes humor with a hint of unease. Online, fans are having a field day. Memes joking about Aja becoming a drama critic or reality star are everywhere. Because when a queen's empire shakes and another rises, the spectacle is impossible to ignore.
Colson, you know, the Aces player, one of Aja Wilson's favorite teammates, being represented by Gina Paradiso. If you don't know, that is, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, that may or may not be Cheryl Swoop's agent. I'm not sure about that, but she is an agent who spent half the season talking crap about Caitlin Clark, and then now had to go into the Fever to get her client to the Fever, and is now following Caitlin Clark on Instagram, like liking Caitlin Clark posts. She's had to get her client to the best possible situation. She's had to shut the heck up. She's had to